I think as a whole, the romance genre is pretty hit or miss. Of course, there have been some great films from the genre though. A few of my personal favorites include Crazy Stupid Love, Eternal Sunshine, 16 Candles, 10 Things I Hate About You, Allied, The Big Sick, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and Titanic. One really nice thing about this genre too is how you can mix romance with another genre seamlessly. Some of the above pictures are romantic dramas, whereas others are rom-coms. You even have romantic action movies like The Fall Guy, for instance. It's a genre with plenty for everyone, because we all know it's a relatable thing. So when it's done well, a film will receive critical acclaim. The only problem is, a lot of bad romance movies exist too. Just go on Netflix, you'll find a couple thousand awful romance movies to choose from. In my opinion, one of the reasons these romantic films are bad is because they don't combine the genre of romance with another genre, and so that can feel stale and boring. For whatever reason now, romance films have been more popular than ever before on streaming in comparison to theaters. It's just rare when you see a hard romance movie in theaters nowadays. But when you put a superstar actress like Zendaya in one, I mean, come on, that's obviously theater worthy. Challengers is that movie from this past weekend. And what do you know? It's not just a romance film. It's also a sports drama. So just like other great movies in the romance genre, it's not a basic romance film. It's very complex, and to make things even more interesting, we have ourselves a love triangle. And who doesn't love that? I had a feeling I would like Challengers, only because sports movies rarely seem to miss. As far as tennis cinema goes, I've seen King Richard, which is one of the best films of the 2020s thus far in my opinion. Growing up, I mainly watched football and basketball related sports movies, but never realized until recently how much tension there could be in a tennis film. And that's part of what makes Challengers such a good movie to begin with, and one of 2024's best movies yet. Tension is everywhere, whether it's during the love triangle scenes or tennis matches. Director Luca Guadagnino had a clear vision and is incredibly precise when executing these sequences. During a few scenes in particular, I was on the edge of my seat and would probably say it's the most edge of your seat tension I've seen in cinema in a while. Something intelligently done by a director as well is crafting an unconventional structure. You don't get your standard movie structure in Challengers, with an obvious beginning, middle, and end. It actually jumps around quite often over the course of 13 years. I love this decision because it raises the tension even more. Cutting back and forth between the early stages of our love triangle to a dramatic career-changing tennis match makes the stakes feel higher than originally thought possible. I can't go into much detail on what we see take place during these timeline edits, but believe me when I say it makes the movie that much better, and gives you an immediate idea of our characters' current situations and how they got to where they are today. As far as the acting goes, I think this is my favorite Zendaya performance of all time. She's great in the scenes which require her to dig towards that ultra-dramatic territory, but what's most impressive is her ability to go from what feels like an innocent 18-year-old girl all the way to an adult 31-year-old with a fractured past. It's the type of range many actors and films alike fail to accomplish. You know, like how some movies do a terrible job in making their actors feel both young and old in films spanning a long time period. However, Challengers gets over that challenge with ease. Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor are equal to Zendaya's masterful work as well. I truly believe these guys were best friends during college, but also competitors on and off the tennis court years later, whose friendship slowly shattered. And here we see obsession become a clear theme in Challengers. These guys are straight up simps who revolve their world around a woman, and when she's not in the picture, they can't function. Jealousy hangs over their heads. Zendaya's Tashi unintentionally controls the lives of these two men, and I love the drastic contrast we see between the livelihoods of our two male characters later in the film. But neither character is fully satisfied with their life, regardless of romantic involvement with Tashi. Music-wise, I've been listening to the score on repeat. Electronic-style beats are what reign supreme in Challengers, and as a fan of that type of music, I couldn't complain hearing it, especially during the suspenseful tennis matches. The music adds so much to the drama. If you thought the film was already dramatic, the music takes it a step further. Also, the tennis matches are so clean. I don't think I like them more than King Richard's matches, but nonetheless, this is fine work. Like I just said, the tension is always high, and that's what you want out of a sports movie. Keep in mind, the romance does drive Challenger's plot, and tennis is used as a backdrop to that, but Luca Guadagnino doesn't overlook filming good tennis scenes in favor of the romance. Both are still done well. If I had to point out a flaw, I found it pretty difficult to root for any of our three characters. None of them are likable, and at times you start thinking there's a chance that could change for one character or another, but then they do something shitty and you go back to disliking them. I understand that's a point, but it can make it tough to enjoy a movie when there isn't a single character you like. Also, the ending is a bit weird. I still don't completely get it. A few other people I know had their own interpretations, but even they were still confused, making me even more confused. A good ending nonetheless, but I wish they provided more clarity, as I didn't feel fully satisfied. In summary, Challengers is one of my favorite movies of the year so far. This is a drama through and through, filled with tension, heavy-hitting performances, a great score, and enjoyable sports-related scenes. I'd be surprised if this didn't receive any Oscar nominations come next year. So what are your thoughts on Challengers? And would you agree this is Zendaya's best performance? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you all so much for watching this review. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.